Developing your probate strategy. Now, this is going to mean different things to different people, but I start with the probate campaign outline. And this right here is just kind of a minimum list of things you should review as you're getting started. These are all found on the subscriber resources page. The probate campaign outline really was the roadmap that we built in our company as we tested and developed this strategy. I understand that there are different personality types and different learning styles, so you don't have to use this document. If you feel more comfortable with a bar napkin and a ballpoint pen, that's fine. Just I encourage you to at least write down what your plan is, so your strategy that you develop. Now, in session one of the probate mastery, we expand on this and get really detailed as far as developing the strategy and turning that into systems. Uh, but for this purpose, just this is help you understand at a minimum what your strategy should be and to get that written down, so you and your team always have that for reference. Also in there, you're going to find all the letters that we use. So you should review those and make sure you've read each of them and make a decision on which letters you plan to use and modify them as needed. And I highly encourage you to modify that, especially the introduction and the closing of the letters, to really personalize it to yourself. There are also inbound and outbound call scripts and subscriber resources. This is, it's based on the most common scenario that we see. And then recorded role play calls and additional resources. There's, the subscriber area is always going to be changing, and as we create new content and find new things that work, that's the place to find those things. I tell everybody, if there's one gift I could give, if there's one thing I could teach everybody, it would be if I could just give everyone confidence. And I believe that starts with a really strong why, and not just in probate, but in any business. So, and it's not just about commission checks. If that's your only why, then I suggest you rethink that. But get real clear on why it is you're reaching out to someone who has been appointed as the most important person, and the person who passed away. They were this was the most important person in the world to them. They handed their entire life to them to help them unravel it. So get real clear on why it is you want to reach out to someone in this stressful situation and what value it is that you can provide to them. And not trying to intimidate you or scare you away here. I think that all of our clients have really strong whys. It's just getting them developed, like pulling them out, extracting them, and getting them written down is sometimes a challenge. So I encourage you to just take some time and really sit down and think, okay, why am I doing this? Why? And some people will have personal stories. I've been an executor and my realtor was horrible, and I know that there's a better way to do this. For me, I had moved here from a market, completely opposite of this, and was just starting to go on appointments, and I realized that there was a big need for this in my market. And I created an MLS search that would kind of extract keywords and show me the inheritance homes. And what I found is as many as 77% of those were expiring. So, for me, I just saw a better way. And we developed a team specifically around those people to really help bring as much value as we could. And you'll kind of see what that team looks like here in just a second. So start with why. The next part is assemble your probate team. And this is not, I don't mean go hire a bunch of people. I mean surround yourself with very trustworthy and reliable people that work in other industries that really play into this situation and can help support you and your why. Starting with a savvy attorney or title company. So I would, definitely not the majority, but let's say 10% of these transactions will have a title issue. And sometimes it's as messy as a will dispute. Sometimes it's just an unknown heir that you need to track down, write a letter to, get them to sign the closing paperwork. But what's really key here is that you have an attorney that can have a soft touch. He can be warm and inviting, but also when the situation calls for it, he'll always push through. And if he needs to be aggressive and intimidating on your behalf or your client's behalf, then he or she can do that. So that's a really, really vital role on the team is an attorney that won't just give up at the first sign of trouble, one that will push through the problem and make sure that your closing happens. Cash investors, cash buyers, however you want to put that in your letters. Most agents that we work with don't have cash investors, in their database. And, in my opinion, every agent in the country should be working with cash buyers because you never know, whether it's a FISBO or an expired inheritance, whatever it is. Sometimes the situation just calls for a fast cash offer. So you need to have at least one guy or woman that's really, really trustworthy, and they have the cash. They'll write a contract within 24 hours and close as soon as title comes back. A lot of people ask me, Chad, where do I find these people? And the quickest way to find cash investors, a couple ways. I'll go through from slow to fast. A really good way to meet multiple cash investors is to go to your local Real Estate Investors Association meeting. And if you Google your city and Real Estate Investors Association, REIA, then you more likely than not, there's these associations are in almost every city in the United States, but you'll probably within a couple of clicks be able to land on their page. And these are groups, networking groups that are going to meet either weekly or monthly. And some of the people in the room are looky-loos, but there are guys in the room that buy multiple houses a year. So it's a good place to network and really build out that list, because one day the market will shift. Short sales and foreclosures will be, a huge income, and why not have those people in your business? A quicker way, if you need to meet a cash investor tomorrow, is to go to a trustee sale or an absolute auction. So, if there's a foreclosure sale scheduled tomorrow, then the guys that are at the courthouse steps bidding, they have cash. They have to, once they buy that house, they have typically 10 days or less to close with cash and no contingency. So those are very motivated people. They're looking to buy homes at discounts, and as long as, a deal is a deal, they will buy it. So the other place is absolute auctions. So if you have a commercial broker in town or an auction company, a lot of times when banks or families dispose of assets and they need to do it quickly, they'll have an absolute auction. And again, it's a cash sale, so the people that are usually at those auctions are ready, willing, and able cash buyers. So figure out how you're going to do that. And if you don't have cash buyers, step out of your comfort zone and go find some this week. Estate sale companies. This is one of the key. It may be the most important. Not that you use them on every deal. I would say that maybe in my market, 1 in 20 transactions, the seller will use the estate sale company. However, almost every seller is stuck when it comes to the personal property. So one of the key questions that we ask is, Mr. Seller, tell me about the personal property in the home and what your plan is for that. And 9 times out of 10, there is no plan. And we follow that up by layering in the value of our estate sale partner. Well, Mr. Seller, we actually work with, we have an estate sale partner. They can come in, appraise the property, and tell you, you guys can agree on prices and agree and determine whether it needs to be a tag sale or an auction format. They'll handle security. They take care of everything. So we can help you get the personal property sold for, the highest price with almost no work on your part. Is that something you would be interested in? Usually that security, just knowing that that's an option and there's a safety net there, 9 times out of 10 will spur them into action, and they'll take care of it themselves. They'll get friends and family and churches and everybody to come, and the house will be cleaned out as soon as it's listed. But having that safety net there, just knowing that you can backstop them, has been hugely beneficial in my business. Clean out crews. So we have a guy that will do basically any clean out for a flat fee of $400. Now, the cost of living is really low in my market. It may take $1,000 in some markets. But the bottom line is, when the estate sale company is gone or when the family is finished, there's sometimes, carpets that need torn out, or furniture that didn't sell or wasn't donated that needs removed. And you need someone to get in there quickly who's reliable to get that cleared out so you can do photography and get on with listing the property. So make sure you have a clean out crew. Licensed contractors, I recommend having a couple of levels of licensed contractors. We actually have a guy that can do, punch work, so pre-listing work, paint, carpet, light receptacles, things like that. And then we have a top shelf guy that we use for full renovations. So based on how much money the seller is willing to invest, if they just want to do, a few things on a tight budget, to try to get to raise the price as much as possible or to make sure that you won't have financing issues, we'll use our punch work contractor. If they have money that they're willing to reinvest in the property, then we'll we'll come in with our contractor, we'll do the scope of work, get the quote, make sure they agree and understand everything, and then basically manage a full-blown rehab of the property to drastically increase the value. So make sure you have contractors, at least one. The top shelf guy could do everything, but it's good to be able to, say, well, listen, Mr. Seller, we can save you some money. I have, this contractor is really reliable, but works very cheaply for me because we give him so much work. But then also have that other level. And then other vendors, these are the people that you probably already have, your stager, your photographer, your appraiser, the people that already support the listing side of your business. So once you have developed, gotten really clear on what your why is and why you want to help this group of people, and once you know who your team is and what pieces of value they bring into your business, then you can develop your unique selling proposition. And this is really a short, fluid statement saying three things. This is why I reached out to you. This is how I can help you. And this is how I'm differentiating myself from other realtors. And it's really, this is where confidence comes from. When you get these things together in this order and you develop that unique selling proposition, what comes with that is 100% confidence in knowing that you are the best person for the job. So really try to fold these things together and combine your why with your team and your offer, and get really good at articulating value in a very fluid way that works on the phone, in the letters, and everything that you do. So just a quick recap on getting your probate strategy in place. You're going to establish and write down a very clear why. You're going to look at your current business and see which of the probate team members you have, which ones you need. Step out of your comfort zone and go find the ones that you don't have. And you're going to develop your probate unique selling proposition and polish that and have fun with all this. So if there's anything that you get stuck on, you can always email me. It's chad@alltheleads.com, and I'm happy to work through some of this stuff with you.